This is Aaron Ryanpin. I just want to thank you for joining me on this video today. I hope it inspires you, it builds hope, and it also gives you a perspective and knowledge of who God really is. Enjoy. So today I want to talk to you about one of the most controversial words of our century. With that being said, I just want to talk to you about religion. What is true religion? What is the definition of religion? So with that being said, the past couple of days I looked up the word religion, and this is what I got. So religion is a cultural system of designated behaviors, practices, morals that relates humanity to God. That's what the original definition, or that's what religion in its truest form is supposed to mean. But today, the reason it's created so much controversy throughout nations, throughout so many other religions, or the Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, is because the word has been perverted. And so today and nowadays, the meaning of religion, this is what it stands. It's a set of values, it's a set of practices, it's a set of worldviews that have been established in order for man to follow and have a right standing with God. You see the difference there? And that's the reason when man fails to live up to that standard, when man fails to live up to that worldview or to that practice, it immediately gets him off the route in right standing with God, and rather pushes him out to hell, pretty much, where it seems like you're about to undergo punishment because you failed to live up to a standard or to a value or to a worldview. And so, with that being said, I just want to share a little story from my life experience. I hope it'll connect with you better and it'll make a lot more sense. So I grew up in a Christian home, and my parents loved God. They went to church, so I grew up in a Christian home. So they did go to church. They loved God. They did everything that was right. And for me, I was born into it. And for me, Christianity was by default. Does it make sense? It was not something I chose. It was just something I was born into, and it was something I started to do because my parents did it. And so I just went to church because it was the right thing to do at the time. I had to fit in. I had to have friends, and so I felt by going to church, that's what made me fit in, and that's what made me get friends. And so it was pretty much me following a standard of default. And so it was just a bunch of rules and a standard that I had to live up to. But you see, that standard and the rules that you have to live up to, when it gets to a certain age, or when you get to a certain point of time, that seems ridiculous. The reality of it becomes ridiculous. And so it makes you walk away. And that's what happened to me. I reached the point in my life where all of that, the reality of what I was doing, seemed pretty ridiculous to me. And it made me walk away. I walked away from the church. I walked away from the religion. I walked away. Literally, it made me walk away from God too. And so, and I was so lost. I was like, if I have to live up to a standard and to a set of values in order to have right standing with God, and when I fail, I felt miserable. And so I'd rather fail. Here's the thing. So if I knew I was pretty much getting punished by God for the things that I didn't live up to, I thought, might as well, since I'm already getting punished for it, or since I'm already gonna go to hell, might as well do stuff and then go to hell, And so that was a worldview that created in my mind because of the people I was surrounded with, and because of the definition of religion that was portrayed to me. But over the years, when I personally decided to choose Christianity, when I personally decided to try it out, all right, let's give it a shot, what's it all about? When I begin to do that, I begin to discover who God really was, or who God really is, and so what Christianity really is. And so what I discovered was, just like me and millions of other people out there, Jesus hates religion. See, religion in the definition of when we have to live up to a standard or to values in order to have right standing with God. Jesus hates religion because it's all about a love relationship. See, that's why when it was just a bunch of rules and it was just a bunch of standards that I had to live up to, I couldn't, because I didn't care. It didn't mean anything to me. But when it came down to I'm doing what I'm doing because I choose to do it, because I'm actually in love, because I can relate to a God who created the entire universe. When that was instilled in my mind, when I began to experience the fact that I could actually relate to God and not just just have to live up to a standard and set of rules made by man, that's when my whole perspective began to shift, and that's when I actually began to fall in love and was compelled to do it out of love rather than forced, or rather than by default. Right, there's so many of us that just grew up in certain religions. We don't even know why we're doing it. We're just doing it because it was passed down by our parents. That's what we were surrounded with. That's what the societies consisted of. And so we just grew up into it. But I want to challenge you to take some time and figure it out. Like, make a choice to actually sincerely pursue God and see and for yourself. Like, I did that, and when I found God, it was the most amazing things. It shifted my perspective from having to live up to a certain standard, but by doing it because I love God, because I love what He's doing, and I can relate with it. And so, yeah, I just want to encourage you to do that. And let me just give you one more principle or one more illustration, and then I'll close. So suppose a guy and a girl that are in love, right, or in a relationship. You see, they do things for each other because they love each other, not because they're forced to, not because they're compelled to by any selfish motive, but it's just because they're so much in love, and they would never want to do something to hurt the other person. And so it's the same with us and God. Like, we're in that, like, metaphorically, we're in that relationship with God, and when we begin to do stuff, it's not because we're compelled to do it, but it's because we're doing it out of love. It's because we're doing it because we care about God. It's because we're doing it because we do not want to hurt that person. And so when we begin to live in this perspective of what religion truly is, than what the society portrays it to be, trust me, it has been the most amazing time for me ever since. I've been walking in so much freedom. I've been walking in so much more peace and joy and happiness than I ever was. And so I just want to challenge you out there, like, if you're going through a hard time, if you're feeling like, religion, being burdened by it, or being pushed by your parents, or, by the people around you, I just want to encourage you to personally take that choice where you go up to God and be like, God, if you're real, speak to me, and kind of reveal yourself to me. And then from there on, trust me, it's going to be the best thing. It's going to be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And so I just want to encourage you, and I just want to challenge you. I hope you'll do that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment in the sections below. I would love to hear from you. And until then, God bless you.